What up, what up, what up? It's your man Ken Billions, Ken Brisbane, your player partner. What's good to all my people out there? Hopefully wherever you at, hearing the sound of my voice, you are good. It is some trying times, some interesting times, uncertain times. People are scared. Looks like the world's falling apart, but sometimes you got to build and destroy to move forward. That's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about you, because it seems like everyone is forgetting about the most important person in the world, which is you. No one is really talking about you. Everyone's talking about 5G, everyone's talking about coronavirus, but no one is talking about you. And that's what this build today is all about, right? So whatever you do, hit your blunts, get your liquor, wherever you at, eat, chill, put me on Bluetooth, tag your mama in them. I'm gonna make sure I keep the curses at a minimum so you can get the youth with you too, because they need to hear this too, because this is about y'all and how y'all move forward in crisis. So again, I'm happy you're here. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. So it's good seeing y'all, yo. Before I move on, make sure you tell my story, that even in the quarantine, your boy was dipping. Nah, but yo, the bill for today is pimp your skills, right? Pimp your skills. And this is a super important topic because no one's talking about y'all. You know what I mean? No one's talking about your skill set, how to get over right now in a crisis. Again, I always say this, but I really mean it right now. Everyone's not going to make it. That's just the game, right? So I want to talk to you about mastering your skills, pimping your skills. I want to talk to you about moving forward and having arrogance and confidence in a crisis with the world falling apart, right? So let's be clear, yo. A pimp is someone that manages a service, right? A pimp is someone that manages a service, right? Traditional pimps manage women. But today I'm going to teach you how to be a pimp of your own self to manage your skills, right? So we're going to do this in steps. It's 4 steps. Step 1 is you got to identify your skill, right? Now, the thing about identifying your skill, the downfall is, well, not the downfall, but a handicap is distraction. So think about a hoe. Think about a woman that's in the game. She's on the track. She's escorting, right? She can get knocked, right? In the game, if a woman gets knocked, that means she goes find another pimp or finds another employer, right? Your skill sets are getting knocked by people talking to you about 5G, the people talking to you about the coronavirus and economic collapse. When you're focused on that, your confidence is going to a minimum. Why? You can't do nothing about it. Listen, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, something is happening, all right? And it's going to be your job to adjust and adapt, okay? So all this conversation about 5G and cell phone towers, what can you do, right? So now your focus is on that. Your focus is on conspiracy. Once you find out the conspiracy, what if you're right? Now what? You don't have anything. There's no call to action, okay? So you don't want your skill to get knocked because you're focused on something else. You are the main priority right now. Okay, there's a thing called 5G. Now what? There's a coronavirus. Now what? 16 million people have filed for unemployment. Now what? Now what? Now what do you do, right? You still have a skill that you're sitting on that you may or may not have identified, okay? Look, understand, if I did a video right now about 5G, because of that way the algorithm is, I would have a lot of views. After the video's over, what do I tell people to do? So I just told you about a force outside of you. I just told you about towers. I told you about radiation. Now what? Doesn't matter, because you still got to get up in the morning. You still got to move, right? So what I would like you to do, this is a suggestion, to take your attention back from the boogeyman. It's always a boogeyman. If it's not 5G, it's the Illuminati. If it's not the Illuminati, it's Monsanto. If it's not Monsanto, it's communist. If it's not communist, it's capitalist. If it's not capitalist, it's socialist, right? Every single week is something else. It's Love and Hip Hop, right? It's Donald Trump, or it's Barack Obama, or it's Ben Carson, or it's every single week is something that's nagging and pulling at your attention. And what happens is you get dehydrated and you don't got enough attention for yourself, okay? Part of knowing your worth is knowing to put where to put your attention on, all right? This is a crazy time because it's creating a new normal, right? And if you don't create the new normal, you're going to be living in the normal that gets created. Everything is level right now. The playing field is level right now. You can do whatever you want to do. You needed the world to slow down. You needed this time period, okay? Why waste it on 5G? If it's real, it's real. I was hearing about 5G 3 years ago. Guess what? I still had rent on the first of the month. Still had mortgage. Baby still needed Pampers. Now what? Your job is to adapt and adjust to whatever's going on in the world, okay? So you don't want your skill, your hoe, to get knocked by distractions, all right? Understand, to make money right now, good skills get you paid. So for the people in the chat right now, if you got a second, put your skill in the chat. Don't just listen to my voice. Use this opportunity to network. You never know who's in the chat room. In the comment section, it could be somebody that could change your life. What is it that you do? I'm going to take a drink, right? I'm going to get a second. So while I'm taking a drink, the call to action is post your skill. If you do hair, post it. Say what city you're from. You got a website? Post it. This is a call to action, okay? This doesn't come with 5G. This comes with game. This comes with pimping your skill. So I'm going to give me a swig with my pinky finger up. Now, while I'm doing that, you make sure you post your skill in the chat, post your website in the chat, post anything you want people to know about you. It's all about you, all right? So take like 30 seconds while I swig, all right? Make sure you're posting, yo. Like and share the video, too. Make sure you post it, okay? All right. So now you done introduce yourself, so now you're not amongst strangers. Now people know what you do, okay? Because that's campaigning, all right? Next step is scaling your skill. Now that you posted about your skill, you need to scale it. How do you scale it? You invest in it. You can't invest in it if you're distracted. On the internet right now, I keep saying this word, right? Because it's triggering. 5G, 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 5G. And if you notice, the videos that you've listened to, the bills that you listen to concerning 5G has done nothing in your skill unless your skill is related to 5G, right? So it doesn't matter what it's not conducive to you to focus on anything other than your skill. You need to scale your skill. You need to listen to people in your field that do what you do, right? You want to listen to great people that you think is great to you, so they're not great no more. You body them. You begin to stand on their shoulders. Who is it in your field that does what you do, that has what you want? If it's money, if it's a lane, if it's a wife, if it's a husband, who's in your lane? You need to scale, right? You need to invest in your skill. Your skill needs 10,000 hours plus, right? There's an audiobook on YouTube called Deep Work, and that's about having hyper focus. You want to have hyper focus right now. So you want to scale your skill, invest in your skill. Okay, so talk to people smarter than you about what it is you do. Don't think that you could be a better hairdresser. You could be a better barber, right? This shutdown, this house arrest, because that's what it is. This house arrest gives us all the time to take an audit. We could be way better than what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? We all got comfortable. We all getting fat. We all our new age philosophy. We all are talking about know your worth, and we all feeling ourselves. Stand in your truth. But knowing skill is getting better. Okay? Expand. You expand when the skill gets better. Go to another audience. See if you're really that dope. But you got to scale the skill. Everybody say scale the skill. Put that in the chat. Scale the skill. If you do real estate, scale it. What's that looking like? Go, how many units do you want? Scale it, okay? If you do hair, start expanding. How many salons you want? Now, what I'm talking about is a brick and mortar model, but here goes an idea. What if your salons were in people's house? See? Scaling the skill. We start to get creative. So brick and mortars are old, but people still do hair out their crib. Maybe you have a product. Maybe you have a particular type of skill concerning beauty that you do. It's a family tradition. It's a secret. Now you can start doing it like an MLM in different homes, right? They follow your recipe. You could do that with food, right? You could do that with fashion. Scale the skill. Whatever it is your skill is, scale it. If being petty is not your skill, don't do it because you don't want to scale that. If jealousy is not your skill, don't do it. Don't scale your weaknesses. All right. It's too many things in society that support our handicaps. It's too many things in society that support our stress, support our depression, support our uncertainty. It's too many things in society that support our poverty. It's a lot of support. And what happens is we confirmation bias, right? So if we're poor, we tend to listen to people that talk about us being poor, right? If we're depressed, we tend to listen to people that talk about us being depressed, okay? So you don't want to scale that. You want to scale the skill, but in order to scale the skill, you got to take your mind off distractions, right? You should be listening to new people, all right? And they should be challenging you, okay? 5G is a comfortable conversation. You know why? Because it allows you to blame somebody, right? Make sure you like and share the video. 5G, you know why everyone's talking about it? Is because it's allowing people to blame somebody. Oh, I knew that. I knew that's what the reason was. What if you wasn't healthy? What if that's the thing? What if 5G would not even affect you if you were healthy? Okay? What about your mind though? What about all that negative shit you think about? What if 5G is a thing that responds to fear, depression, stress, and ugliness? You ever thought of that? Right? So you don't want to scale that. You want to get rid of that, okay? And the last thing in terms of identify your skill, you need belief. Say what you want about Donald Trump, but the man believes in himself. So y'all look at the wrong things. Y'all focus too much on if you like something or not. It ain't about that, all right? To eat the meat, spit out the bone. One thing he has, he's very optimistic about his skill. And if you are associated with him, he says you're the best ever too, right? Until you get on his bad side. So instead of instead of always worried about if you like somebody or not, no, what skill do they have that you might be missing that you can borrow? All right? Don't worry about if you like someone. This is a game about belief. Belief, belief, belief. If you don't practice the power of belief, you're never going to get anywhere. Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about the biology of belief. I suggest you check that out. It's our belief system that puts us where we're at. Okay, we believe in everything. We believe in gods. We believe in teachers. We believe in lovers. We believe in children. We believe in humanity. But we don't believe in ourselves, right? So that's how people are 30, 40, 50 years old and have not found a skill yet. Okay, yeah, you could go out and work for someone else. Is that your skill yet? Your skill is personal. Your skill is something that you do. It comes naturally. And the only problem is you haven't been able to monetize it because what? You've been distracted. Okay, so now take your attention back. Nothing exists without your attention. When you focus on something, then it becomes active. Take your attention back and everything that you fear is going to disappear. All right? Step 2, got to get chosen. You got to get chosen, right? A pimp in the game can't get no money if a hoe don't choose. You got to get chosen by the marketplace, all right? You get chosen by campaigning. People need to know you exist. People need to see you. People need to hear from you. This is the problem with the fear that everyone is listening to because it's not telling you to show up. Okay, you in the house. You in the house doing what? Listen, it's not always going to be like this. It's not going to be like it was before, but there's going to be a middle. Like I said, there's going to be a new normal. And if you don't create a normal, you're going to be trapped in whatever the new normal is. You want to be working right now on how to get chosen. What does that mean? Your skills. What do you do well? Now, what would happen if 5,000 people knew that you did that well? Do you sing? You dance? All right. Do you sew? Do you bake? Do you cook? Are you a minister? What is it that you do that you're hiding from people? It's a secret. Why is your skill a secret? That's a problem. You was born with that. The world needs to know. It's a numbers game. So what you're telling me is you believe in your heart. Out of the 7 billion people in the world, there's not 1 million people that want what you have. Do you honestly believe that? Do you believe it's 500,000 people in the world that don't want what you have? Do you honestly believe that? Do you honestly believe it's not 250,000 people that want what you have? Seriously, right? This is why shadow work is important because we have to reprogram that subconscious mind. because the mouth can say anything. What is it that you truly believe, though? Do you believe that 100,000 people spread out through the whole world don't want what you have? That's hard to believe. So if you really believe that out of 7 billion people, there's not 50,000 people in the marketplace that can use or is looking for a you, man, then that misbelief in yourself is strong. You believe in Illuminati, though. You believe in the devil, right? You believe in 5G. You believe the coronavirus was man-made to control the population. You believe in the Georgia Guidestones. Do you believe in yourself? All them other things that I made should be down here on the list. That's extra. That's some shit you do when you're bored, right? The number one thing you need to have faith in and belief in is that reflection that you see every day. Now, if you can believe that there's some people drinking blood, doing child sacrifices, fine. But make sure you have the same belief that you have in yourself. You got to campaign hard as hell. People need to know what you do. You have to campaign. You have to show up, right? And then when you do show up, you got to over-deliver. What's that look like? The problem with e-commerce and internet entrepreneurship is that people have forgot to over-deliver, okay? It's low-budget ads, low-budget promotion, low-budget product, right? It's direct to consumer has made people very, very, very lazy. People don't over deliver. One thing for sure, two things for certain. If you want people to keep coming back, you got to give them more. You got to sweat. You know why? Because it's competition out here. You ain't the only one that does that. You ain't the only pretty woman. You're not the only charismatic man. You're not the only person with a great body. What is it that is going to make people come back? Yeah, they buy the product, but consumers invest in people, right? Treat yourself like a stock. Some stocks offer dividends, right? You over delivering can be your dividend. When people give their attention to you, you give more than what they pay for. We got to get in the habit of that, doing more than other people, right? It's been a long time since Legends was created because everybody got comfortable. Everybody just got used to putting a camera in their face. No quality. Nobody's investing in their product. What does that say about you? People don't take you serious. You give them their attention and they still got the same setup that they had 3 years ago. You still listen to them talk and just rant. When they gonna get in the studio? When they gonna step their camera up? You understand, right? I had to invest in my shit. I couldn't keep talking to the people and I'm just got a phone in my face. Nah, that's not gonna suffice. And from here, I'm gonna scale. I'm gonna make sure I scale my skill. Why? Because I respect people that's giving me their attention. You guys are at home right now. You could be doing anything, but if I have your ear even for 5 minutes, I gotta over deliver. I gotta sweat on this microphone. I gotta make sure that if this was the last time you ever see me, I gave every single thing to you. I'm not gonna waste your time. I'm gonna show up prepared. Why? Because it's about you. And our legacies live through people. So you got to over deliver. Whatever it is, because you want people coming back. Understand, you ain't the only person that does what you do. It's millions of people in the marketplace that do exactly what you do, right? Why should I come back, right? So I will pay, for example, I will go see a barber, right? That doesn't cut my hair as good as someone else. But if this barber gives me a great experience while I'm there, then I'm willing to look past the fact that their skills might not be nice. Right? Because they're over delivering. They're asking about my family. They're asking what's going on with me. They're offering me advice, whether I take it or not. That's over delivering. I'm not going to no one's live video and they're yelling at me, right? And they don't got nothing for me. They're not over delivering me. They're not sweating. You need to sweat if I'm checking you out. It can't be easy. Some people go live because they're bored. You know what I'm saying? They're actually bored. They have nothing to do, and they're talking about current events. That's not over delivering. That's easy. You're not challenging your listeners. So make sure you over deliver. Now, when you over deliver, here is a very, very important thing about getting chose for your skills. you got to be luxury. What's that mean? When you are a luxury brand, you might leave some money on the table. What's that look like? Because you ain't for everybody. Now, I just use me for example. I ain't no better, no worse or nothing. But if you see how many people follow me, it's a lot of people, right? How come I don't have a lot of views on my lives? Because I treat myself like a luxury. What's that mean? I'm not about to talk about anything, right? I'm going to make sure when I show up a certain type of way. Now, there's a price that I pay for that. I know exactly what people want to talk about, right? I know when it's something happening in the media, some beef, something happening going on. I know that people want to hear that, right? And I pay for that. I pay because I don't talk about that. But that's cool because I'm focused on each individual that's here, whether that's 50 or 1,000. I could be going viral, right? If I appeal to the algorithm, but I don't because I treat myself like a luxury brand. Okay, I'm not for everybody. You shouldn't be for everybody. Now, that's my opinion, but you have to decide what's good for you. You have McDonald's who sells a lot of shit, but in terms of the minds of the people, they're not valuable. People eat McDonald's based on survival, which is cool. That's a good business model. But are you a survival person? Is your skills survival shit? And if so, bubble, do your thing. I'm only talking about those. This is my opinion. You should be luxury. Treat yourself like a luxury brand. Yo, Bentley doesn't, you don't really see them do commercials. You don't really see Ferrari do commercials. It's a private club. Everybody don't look at the Rob Report. That's exclusive. Now, to be a legend, you got to be exclusive. If you for everybody, your standard is low. Now, McDonald's does do crazy numbers, over 1 billion sold, but their standard is low. People have done documentaries on their product. It's not cool. You eat it because that's your last $20 and you got to make it stretch, okay? But when you got the option, you don't mess with McDonald's. And McDonald's been there since I was a kid. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying you have to decide what kind of brand you are. Are you a luxury brand? Is your skill for the upscale, middle, people on the bottom? Whatever you pick, that's your own legacy. So it's all good, man. Just, you have to decide though. Me personally, I'm not for everybody. So what that means is I'm okay with the losses I take it up in terms of traffic because it'll pay off in the back end. I don't want everybody to know me. I don't want everyone to see me. I don't want everyone to hear my voice because I got a certain type of plan for my life. But that's me. So you got to decide what's good for you. All right. 4, master your audience, aka your clientele, which is super important. That's another reason why I don't do certain things, because I know the people that pull up for me. Now, whether it's 50 people or 100 people, I'm going to be loyal to them and I'm going to deliver what they expect from me, and I'm going to do it better than everyone else, right? So provide what people want better than your competitors. I know who my competition is, right? They don't know that I know I'm looking at them as comp, but I know who my competition is, and they get way more views than me, but it's cool because it's about catalog. When people look back in the archives, when I show up, I'm fresh to death, right? When I bring it, right? I'm not a carbon copy and I'm not trying to be right. I come with the game. So you got to know your audience. I know exactly what my audience expects of me, right? That 20 people is more than 20 million people of me going viral. That 20 that see my notifications pop up and they're like, oh, Ken is that. I'm loyal to that because I'd rather go to war with them, that 20, than a million people that just see my video and clicked on it because I'm talking about sensationalism. Again, you don't got to follow this model. I'm only giving game. You could take it or leave it. These is jewels you could wear or sell. It's on you, right? So master your clientele, master your audience. You need to audit. Why do the people that fuck with you, what's the reason? You need to know that. Is it how you look? Is it the aesthetics? If so, then you always need to come a certain type of way. Is it your perspective? If so, then you need to keep scaling it and increasing it. Because the next one, in the game, a trick ain't loyal, neither is the crowd. So even though that I said I'll go hard for that. 20 people, they're not loyal though. Because they will leave your ass. It's just like in the game. If you can't find one weed man, you're going to call that other person that you met the other day. And if he got some fire, you're going to keep going there. That's the game. It's not personal. So you got to make sure that you stay fresh. You got to make sure your perspective is always on point and sharp. And you got to make sure that you're what? Over-delivering. Over-delivering. That's super important. All right? So just as long as you know that the love you think people are showing you, that is very fickle. You understand? I've had people in the comment section, Ken, we love you. Never cash at me. That's the game, though. I don't take it personal. But understand that you don't keep going. Keep getting more people. Keep campaigning so more people know you. Because the people that say they love you, in 1 second, they're gonna be on that wave over there. And that's just the game. It's just human shit, right? So step four with your skill and pimping your skill. Vertical improvement. What does that look like? We are taught to move horizontal, straight line, right? Vertical improvement means you're blasting off like a rocket ship. You're going straight to the top. Everything you do is vertical, right? So with your narrative, it goes straight up. With your look, it goes straight up. What that means is when they look at you 3 years ago, you look way different now. When they hear you talk from 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you look and sound way different because you didn't move horizontal. You move vertical. Now, I want to sound like I'm totally contradicting myself from years ago. That means I'm on the right track. Ain't no way in hell I should feel the same way then as I do now. I have went through life. Society is changing. I've learned more, lost more. I've won. You know what I'm saying? I've read more. I forgot some things. I unlearn and relearn. Shout out to Derek Grace for that. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be moving vertically. You know what's funny? Is if you look on pictures on IG, right? Something has happened to the women where they're not as creative. Something is going on. I don't know what it is. But their contribution to IG is not vertical. It's a picture from the side and 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 a picture from the side. That's not vertical. That's horizontal moving. Listen to Floyd Mayweather talk. No disrespect. Great fighter. Hall of Fame fighter. He's done very well for himself. But in terms of contribution, it's very horizontal. He doesn't say anything new. We know you got the money. All right. So he doesn't say anything new, but he doesn't have to. I'm just giving you an example of horizontal moves and vertical moves. Vertical is 2 months ago, you still on the same shit. 4 months ago, still on the same shit. Year, you're still on the same. When are you going to step out there and take a risk? When are you going to say something that's not politically correct? When are you going to challenge the narrative? When are you going to come with a skill and go in the direction that the market doesn't even expect, right? So, vertical improvement, right? And the last one is you must move faster than your supporters. What's that mean? In the game, sometimes the fans outwork and outgrow the artists. That's the worst thing. What happens when your fans outgrow you? That's the worst. You don't want that to happen. So if you are in the ministry, if you're a person that's giving advice, people are going to take your advice and they're going to do it. It's a travesty if they do it and they surpass you. Okay, that's a good thing that they elevate. They shouldn't elevate past the speaker though. If you rap, you make music, you look a certain type of way, you don't want to be in the health game and the people that you are, your clients that you're preaching health to, they begin to look better than you, right? Now students should rise in the game. But if they start surpassing the master, your brand dilutes. Because once they start passing you, I'm gonna tell you what happens in the game. They start counting your money. They start talking behind your back. They start really shading you. Trust me what I'm telling you. Again, it's not love. Tricks aren't loyal. Neither is the crowd. Trust me what I'm telling you. They're not loyal, right? Sometimes it's admiration, sometimes it's fascination, and once they peel you for all of the shit that you have, they slide to the next person and talk real greasy about you. So that's why you got to stay a mystery, and you got to stay above them. You got to stay throwing them off. And the way you do that is you don't always bust your load. In the 48 laws, they tell us to conceal our intentions, right? And what that is conceal your knowledge too. I do not say everything that I know. I give bits and pieces and let people think that they figured me out. Now I'm on offense. Okay, so if they think they figured me out, if they think they know all my moves, got all my game, I'm on offense. Because a lot of shit that I'm saying is my 3 years ago game. I just never went public with it, right? So I don't want you guys to get caught up in a trap on pimping your skills. There's a lot more that I could say about pimping your skills, but you have to hit me up, 888-565-8734. That's the Nothing But Game hotline. Or you could drop it in my Cash App and we could have a one-on-one either way. But there's more to this. But again, I don't give all the game away. And you shouldn't either. But the main thing is, I think the most important thing that I said is distractions are knocking your skill set. Okay, it is very, very, very easy to 5G, the government. That's easy. It's low hanging fruit. And what happened is because we like to create boogeymen, we always run over there. And when we run over there, we give up so much valuable attention. And this game is about attention. And this game is about being hyped and charged. And the best way to be hyped and charged in life is to be very selective of what you focus on. Don't give the boogeyman all your power. This is all about you. If it ain't talking about you, then it's right now practice necessary narcissism. It is all about you. I understand? All right, because coronavirus is making history. They're going to talk about this 100 years from now. 5G, they're going to talk about this 100 years from now. But when you're dead, what will people say about you? Only thing that counts when you die is what they thought of you. All right, so I like to exchange value for value. If I said anything, one thing that you agree with, go ahead and hit that Cash App, and you can find me on my Nothing But Game hotline, 888-565-8734. You got to put something down to pick something up. Until next time, I love you. Love yourself. Peace.